Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jade. Hi. I'm Liz.
Hi, Liz.
And I'm Nikki.
Hello.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Thanks for coming today. And you're here for the job of participation worker at Bernardo's, yeah?
I really enjoy doing interview panels because I feel it's a good way to have a voice in shaping children's services for the future.
So I've been involved in interview panels with service users and young people now for about 10 years, I would say. We're going to try and keep things as relaxed as possible and chatty, so please, feel free to ask questions at any time. We've got about 10 questions between us.
I do feel quite experienced at doing interview panels.
And I'm going to hand over to Emma to kick off.
I think I've done about 10 interviews so far. Okay, so our first question is, can you tell us about your experience as a participation worker?
Yeah, I worked in a youth centre in St.
I think the involvement of young people in interview panels is vital. I think it benefits the process because we know that when young people are involved at all levels of service design and delivery, including recruitment, we know that there's better satisfaction levels from young people with services, and we know that we get better outcomes for young people.
Personally, interviews have helped me by helping me develop my confidence skills. It's given me an idea of what interviewing is like, and it's helped me for my own interviews at university.
I think it helps young people develop some confidence and skills that will help them, in their future careers.
It's helped me in my own interviews by showing me the kind of things that interviewers are looking for based on what I'm looking for when I interview other people, such as, eye contact. I think young people being involved really gives a chance for staff who genuinely care about children, and it helps children to, see through the person and what they're really like and what it would be like to see them as someone attending an appointment.
And I think young people will notice things that perhaps staff will be less focused on. Staff get very focused on the technical and practical aspects of a job, and they may be less tuned in to the relational aspects and the importance of engagement and intuition, and I think we all experience that differently.
I think young people do see things that adult professionals miss quite a lot, because it's easier to get past the clinical jargon kind of side of it and actually hear what they are trying to say and what they actually mean. I've been on young people recruitment panels, which are where it's mainly just a panel of 3 or 4 young people interviewing a member of staff. I've also been on professional panels, which is where a young person sits with about 3 other professionals. I think personally I prefer doing professional panels because it feels a bit more equal in weighting of answers and things, and I feel like generally you get your voice heard more.
I think sometimes you very occasionally get a tension where a young person might think the person being interviewed is the best person for the job, but the staff panel don't feel that they have the right skills or experience, but I think as long as you have open conversations about why that is, it's okay. But what we don't want is for the young person to then be left feeling like their voice hasn't been heard. My experience has been when it's one joint panel, everyone hears the same thing, and often it reduces the chances of there being a difference of opinion.
I know firsthand what it's like to see someone at CAMS. It isn't just a hypothetical situation for me. I know exactly how it feels to go in there feeling distressed and anxious and the kind of things you'd like to see from a worker in a moment like that.
I think one of the things that could improve the process would be us paying a bit more attention to supporting young people through the process. I think recognising that it's quite an exhausting day sometimes, it's a very skillful role, so I think there needs to be sort of recognition of the level of skill involved, and there to be adequate training for that and adequate payment.
The sort of things I'd like to see in a worker would be someone who genuinely is listening to you, someone who lets you make your own decisions, someone who understands the boundary when you first meet them and that it takes time to trust them instead of just expecting you to talk about things that are hard for you from the start to someone you don't know.
Young people and service users will always think about the young person at the centre in a way that perhaps a staff-only panel wouldn't.
Personally, I have had a range of good and bad workers. I think a bad worker would be someone who kind of just doesn't listen to you, kind of makes decisions without getting your input on them, not listening and saying they know what's best for you because they're a professional, and kind of putting you down in that way. When I do interviews, it's usually clear to me who the right person for the job is. Not that that person always gets recruited, but it's usually quite obvious who would make the best CAMS worker from a young person's perspective. So it's also a good opportunity for young people when you go on a panel to meet other young people and learn how to work with other young people.
They would think about what it would be like to experience receiving care and support from that person being interviewed, and ultimately they're the people receiving the service, so that should be the most important thing.